At the American Missile Defense Facility in Alaska, the team is working as usual, watching their screens and doing their daily tasks. Major Daniel walks in and takes his seat. At 3:30 in the morning, Olivia is at home playing with her child. Her husband walks in and reminds her of the time. Their baby has a high fever, but Olivia has to leave for work. Before she goes, her child gives her his favorite toy to keep with her for the day. Olivia works as a senior officer in the White House Situation Room. She arrives at the office, goes through the normal security checks, chats briefly with a junior employee, and drops off her phone in the locker. She sits down at her station, and her close colleague William joins her. It seems like just another normal day, with only a few small alerts happening in the background. Meanwhile, back at the missile defense base, the soldiers suddenly see an alert appear on their screens. A ballistic missile launch has been detected somewhere in the Pacific. They confirm the detection with the Situation Room, and Olivia sees the alert too. Admiral Mark Miller walks in and asks what is going on. Olivia thinks it's just another system glitch because similar false alarms happened twice earlier this year. Mark jokes that they should wake him only if the world is ending and leaves. Daniel asks his team to find out where the missile came from, but they say the origin is unknown, something that shocks everyone. A virtual emergency meeting is immediately set up with all the experts. General Brady explains the situation and confirms that the missile's origin cannot be determined. At the Alaska Defense Center, Sergeant Mary notices something alarming. The missile's altitude suddenly changes. What seemed harmless is now racing toward Earth at 6 kilometers per second. This information is sent to the Situation Room, and the tension rises. William asks Olivia what she thinks, and she tells him to add the President and the Secretary of Defense, Reed Baker, to the call. They calculate the time of impact, about 18 minutes left. The defense base begins preparing to launch its interceptors to destroy the incoming missile. The alert level rises to DEFCON 2, a warning they have never seen before. People in the Situation Room look terrified, but Admiral Mark tries to calm them down. He says it could just be some billionaire launching a satellite without filling out the paperwork. William reports that the president is still out of reach, but they've reached Defense Secretary Reed Baker. They're also contacting foreign ministers from other countries to see if anyone knows what's happening. They finally get visual footage of the incoming object, and it looks bad. With 16 minutes remaining, the defense base opens its launch system. Reed discusses moving people to safer areas, but then receives a new update. The missile is highly likely to hit Chicago and nearby cities. Reed quietly asks about Chicago, whispering to himself that his daughter lives there. William manages to connect with the Chinese foreign minister. At the missile field, everything is cleared for launch, the interceptor missiles are fired, and everyone watches, hoping they will hit the target within 3 minutes. The president finally joins the call, and National Security Advisor Jake urges him to contact Anna, an expert on North Korea who might know if they are responsible. Even if they destroy this missile, they must prepare for possible follow-up attacks. Meanwhile, security officers come to escort Admiral Mark to the Presidential Emergency Operations Center. Before he leaves, Olivia tries to comfort him, reminding him that once the Soviets mistook sunlight for an incoming missile. Meanwhile, Olivia's husband is at the doctor's office with their sick child. Olivia keeps calling him, but he doesn't answer. Abby becomes worried too and starts asking other staff members for updates, but no one has any useful information. Everyone focuses on the 2 interceptor missiles launched earlier. They find out one has failed, but the second is still on its way. William panics, but Olivia tries to stay hopeful, saying it will all be over soon. One of the sergeants begins praying out of fear. The incoming missile is seconds away from meeting the interceptor. They count down, and the room goes silent as the 2 objects connect. They wait for confirmation, but the result finally comes in, and it's negative. The missile is still coming. The warning level jumps from yellow to red. Now there are only 8 minutes left before impact. Since no more interceptors can be launched, the team must start preparing for retaliation. They inform the president about the Black Book, which contains 3 different military strike options. He must choose one. Chicago has a population of about 8 million people, and they estimate all of them will die. Major Daniel runs outside and vomits from the stress. The president is disconnected again, and Olivia tries to reconnect him. She tells William to retrieve their phones, and he leaves. The soldiers, crushed by the news, begin calling their families. One of them calls his mother just to hear her voice. Time is running out, and there is nothing left for them to do. Olivia finally reaches her husband. She tells him to start driving west immediately. He doesn't understand what she means, but she repeats herself and asks him to kiss their son for her. She hangs up and breaks down when she sees the toy her son gave her that morning. The countdown nears 0. Olivia and William hold hands as they brace for the worst. Brady asks the president which retaliatory strike he will choose, but the president stays silent. The story then jumps back to the start, showing what happened from the perspective of the Situation Room and the Command and Control Center. Brady gets out of his car and heads into his office, casually talking with an assistant about last night's game. The object appears on the radar, and the office quickly fills with staff. Brady enters and is updated on the threat before joining a video conference. Elsewhere, Jake is in a car with his pregnant wife when he receives the emergency alert. He joins the call while walking and the team discusses how to stop the missile and who might be responsible. Jake tells Brady that North Korea has the capability to launch such an attack. His call cuts off, and he starts running. Brady receives confirmation that the object is coming toward Earth and is not a satellite. He doesn't believe it at first, but the data is solid. Jake is stunned by the news. They have about 19 minutes before impact, and DEFCON 2 is declared. Jake runs faster toward the Situation Room as they keep trying to reach the president. Once Jake arrives, he tells them they must contact every possible attacker and try to negotiate. Brady's assistant says the launch could be from Russia or North Korea. Whoever did it, the situation is madness. He even jokes that maybe a captain woke up angry after his wife left him and decided to fire a missile. They pull up live visuals from the defense base. The predicted impact zone is confirmed. It is Chicago. Reed freezes when he hears this and whispers that his daughter lives there. They are told the interceptor launches will begin soon. Reed asks for the chances of success. Jake hesitates but finally admits there is only about a 61% chance of stopping the missile. Reed is shocked and angrily complains about the country's $50 billion missile defense system. Meanwhile, fighter jets begin preparing for possible air combat. The Presidential Emergency Operations Center opens, and all the staff rush inside. Jake is one of them. He quickly joins the president on a call and tells him they need to contact Anna Park, who understands North Korea's intentions and military abilities better than anyone. Meanwhile, Anna is at a battalion festival with her young son, enjoying the day. She receives an alert on her phone, then a call. Jake connects with her and explains the situation. Mark arrives as well, and Anna says she isn't completely sure what is happening, but North Korea is capable of launching a sea-based missile. They ask why North Korea would do something this extreme. Anna says they might think they can survive a counterattack, or they might launch the missile to gain leverage, possibly to demand relief support in exchange for stopping further strikes. Brady asks if Russia could be behind it. Anna says it's unlikely. Russia is more focused on China right now. Anna then asks where the launch started. Jake and the team tell her that the satellites didn't detect the launch at all, which shocks her. Jake explains that if the missile avoided satellite detection, it means their defense system has failed. Brady adds, that means this might be a coordinated attack, and it may only be the beginning. Anna mentions that China has been testing AI-assisted launch systems, so it could also be a malfunction, but no one can say for sure. The interceptors are released from their missiles. The interceptors get close to the incoming missile. They start the countdown and wait. Everyone holds their breath. The two missiles make contact, but the result comes back negative. The incoming missile is still flying toward Chicago. The warning level turns red. Admiral Mark is asked what they should do next. He says there is no plan B. They cannot save Chicago now, so they must bring out the Black Book, which contains 3 possible counterattack options. The president has to choose one to prevent further attacks. The president is overwhelmed, and Jake tries to support him, but Brady insists they cannot slow down. Brady reminds him that in about 8 minutes, Chicago will be gone. Several countries are already on high alert, and they have no idea how many more attacks could follow. If they choose to strike back, they may trigger an even bigger disaster. Brady says they've already lost one city and asks the president how many more he is willing to risk. The president says the situation is insane. Brady answers that insanity or not, this is reality. The Russian embassy finally answers their call, and Jake speaks to the Russian minister with Mark listening beside him. The minister says Russia has nothing to do with this and warns the US not to use the attack as an excuse to strike Russia. Jake asks him to confirm that Russia will not launch any attacks. The minister promises that they won't, as long as the US also agrees not to strike them. Only then will Russia hold its fire. Jake asks him to trust him, but the minister says he must speak to the Russian president first and ends the call. Jake tells the others what Russia said. He explains that he decided to trust them, but no one is truly sure. Now the president must face an impossible decision as the missile is almost at its target. Jake sums it up in one line: the president's choice is between suicide and surrender. The president says he needs a minute, even though the strike is only moments away. Jake asks Mark what comes next. Mark tells him to put the Army Corps of Engineers on standby, because if the White House gets hit, rescuers may need to dig them out. Everyone is scared as the president reads the confirmation codes for the Black Book. He still hasn't made a choice. The missile keeps getting closer, and the president remains unsure. The point of view shifts to the president. Lieutenant Commander Robert Reeves is waiting to meet him, carrying the Black Book. Reed is relaxing at the golf course during his day off. The president speaks with his wife, who is in Africa. He is about to leave for a sports ceremony. While news of the missile spreads and Jake races to the office, the president is traveling to the event. Reed arrives at his office and joins the conference call. The president is out of reach while he walks into the stadium, greeting reporters and the audience. He steps onto the field and plays around with the girls' team. Suddenly, the emergency alert goes out. Security rushes him away. He's put into a car as Robert tells him the nation is under attack. The president is shocked. Reed has just learned there is a 61% chance the missile will hit. He tells his assistant to find the closest base near Chicago. The president joins the call and demands answers, but no one has clear information. He grows frustrated. Then they bring Anna Park onto the call, and she explains North Korea's possible motives. They've already launched interceptors to destroy the missile, which calms the president slightly, but the tension is still high. The interceptors reach the target. Reed looks at a photo of his daughter. But the interceptors miss, and Reed and the president are left speechless, knowing the end is near. Robert brings out the Black Book. The president asks why he has it. Robert explains that they need to choose a retaliatory strike option to prevent more attacks. The book contains 3 categories: green, yellow, and red. The president wants nothing to do with any of the options. Reed calls his daughter. She doesn't want to talk to him and says her therapist told her she should eventually. She tells him she is dating someone. Reed asks if it's serious. She says yes and tells him he's acting strange. Reed ends the call, telling her he loves her. His assistant arrives and says they need to move. The president can't decide and repeats that the whole situation is insane. Brady reminds him this is the real world now. The president asks Robert for his name and whether he has a family. Robert says he has a wife. The president is taken to an air base and immediately boarded onto a helicopter. Robert joins him and continues explaining the Black Book. The president questions how attacking anyone will guarantee they won't be attacked again. Robert tells him the decision belongs to him alone. The president asks for Robert's opinion since the options in the book feel meaningless. Robert suggests the red option is the strongest. The president thinks about doing nothing. Robert says they can wait and hope the attacker doesn't strike again, but there is no guarantee. Robert quietly begins to pray. The president admits that Robert and the Black Book always made him feel safe, as if every disaster could be prevented. But now they are facing the worst possible outcome. Robert agrees and says the situation is madness, but doing nothing might bring even greater danger. He tells the president the red option would end it once and for all. Reed is being evacuated. He is taken to a helicopter, but instead of boarding, he walks forward and jumps off the platform. Meanwhile, Jake updates the president about the talks with Russia. He suggests they avoid launching anything for now. The president asks if Russia fully agreed, but Jake says the agreement was mostly. Brady argues that makes it useless, but Jake insists that if they hold back, there is still a chance things won't escalate. The final choice now rests with the president. He calls his wife and explains everything. She is just as unsure as he is. He returns to the call and reads the passcode. People in the areas around Chicago start running for safety as the missile becomes visible. It finally strikes Chicago. Major Daniel rushes out of the room, sickened. The president's final decision is not revealed.